But the Black Stars, they played a friendly game against Soccer Intellectuals and won that match by 8 goals to 0. Let's take a look at the men who represented the country in that warm-up game before the match against Zimbabwe. Jojo Wollacott, who is having his debut experience with the Black Stars, started in that game and was later replaced by Richard Atta, Philemon Bafo, Joseph Edu, and then Daniel Amate, alongside Baba Rahman, made that back for Gideon Mensah, replacing Baba Rahman late in the game. Baba Idrisi, Pate, and Kudus started in the midfield three. Mohamed Kudus himself got on the score sheet. Jordan Ayew started on the right wing. Missed a penalty in the first half, unfortunately, but was able to still register 2 assists. He was replaced by Fatau Isaaku, and Isaaku, he got a brace in the second half coming on as well. Samuosu had a run out. The 2 strikers, Joel Fami and Benjamin Tete, both got on the score sheet with 1 goal each. Kamal Dean scored the first goal of the game and got his second moments later, ending the game with 2 goals. And Yayawa also came on to score. Kalebe Kuban had minutes as well. Well, joining me via Zoom to preview the match between the Black Stars and the Warriors of Zimbabwe tomorrow, Lawrence Mangenje, a sports journalist with Soccer 24 in Zimbabwe, and Inshra FM's Bismarck Obusu-Bempa, who's also a sports journalist. Lawrence, first off, I hope I got your name correct.
You tried, bro. I'll give you 8 out of 10.
So what's the right one?
It's Lawrence Mangenje.
Mangenje.
Yes.
I had a feeling, but I just wanted to, give you the benefit of the doubt. But thank you very much for joining us, and thank you very much, Bismarck. Let me start with you, Lawrence. What's the mood like in Zimbabwe ahead of the game? It's not been the best of starts to the World Cup qualifier so far. Just 1 point out of 2 games. We've seen a change in coach so far, and now you meet a team which is considered as a powerhouse in Africa, and the Black Stars. How do you gauge the mood, from the fans and the players and everyone in Zimbabwe?
Well, like you rightly pointed out, bro, the team didn't get off to a good start in the World Cup qualifiers. This is a football-loving nation. Qualification for the FIFA World Cup has eluded Zimbabwe since independence in 1980. So this was regarded as a very big opportunity for the team to qualify. The general consensus was that this is a group which is reasonable, in which everybody had a chance to qualify. But we didn't get off to a good start. We had to part ways with the coach. It was his sacking was overdue. We've got 1 point heading into the double header against Ghana. Well, the general consensus as well is that, with all due respect to Ghana as a footballing powerhouse, we actually still believe that the team still has a chance to make it, and all it's got to take is for us to have at least a positive result in one of or both of the games against Ghana. So, we, as a nation, we are looking forward to the game. We respect Ghana as an opposition, the football powerhouse, but equally so, we actually still believe that we can go toe-to-toe with them, despite that.
You speak of, the whole mood still, trying to get something out of those 2 games, or maybe something positive in both games. But let me take you back to the new coach, that's Logarusich, who's taken over the national team. What has he been like, and what has he done with the team so far?
Oh, the new coach is Norman Mapez, actually.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The new coach is Norman Mapeza. He's a respectable coach here this side. He has been there. He's not new to the national team setup. He's dealing with players, most of whom he knows personally. So he's a very, very respected coach. He's a good coach, actually. He's a coach whom we feel can actually grind the result against Ghana, despite Ghana having the pedigree of an African powerhouse. So we are looking forward to the game. The coach himself is someone we trust a lot, and we expect him to grind the result, despite the fact that Ghana is an African powerhouse.
Okay, I'll come back to you, Lawrence. But Bismarck, thank you very much for joining us. We also have a new coach, Das Ghana. Very similar circumstances to what Zimbabwe have started. Not the best of starts also for the Black Stars after losing against South Africa in that game. Milovan Rajevac has come in. There's been a lot that has happened the last time the Black Stars played up until now. Where do you gauge the confidence level of the team at this moment?
I think it's quite difficult to get a proper appraisal of the confidence of the team. But at least if you play a friendly game and you are able to score 8, it boosts the confidence of the players. It resonates in terms of the trust of what Milo is introducing to the team. Then if they go onto the pitch and they are able to play out according to instructions and score 8 goals, then every player will feel okay. If we go by what he's telling us, probably we will have a new thing and we'll be scoring goals. Under Sika Akono, one of our problems has been scoring goals. One of our problems has been the transition, the construction of the team, the structure of the team, where we get the best out of the individual players on the pitch. And if you look at the starting 11 and those who came in as substitutes, as we've shown on the tactical board, it clearly indicates that every player is being played in its right positions. And that is what we want to see. Idris Ubaba, Thomas Partey as central midfielders. It is clear that that is where they play. We get strikers in Famille and Benjamin Tete playing their roles and not being shifted to either the right or the left. We all know Kamara Adin, we know Yao Yabua, we know Caleb Ekuban can play on the left and they are being played there. We know Jordan Ayew at Crystal Palace plays on the right. Fatah Isha, Kusamolo, who are all wingers and they are being deployed at those positions. Kudus is a typical number 10 and he's being played behind the striker. These are the fundamental things we wanted to see. And that I think Milo is getting to it. The fundamentals are very, very key to any team. And the expectations of Ghanaians is that, look, Milo is very, very confident. He's a coach who can instill what we really want to see in the team. He's a coach who will be transparent with his call-up. He'll be a coach who will select players based on their form and the efficiency that they will bring to the team. And that is what he has started with. So for me, gauging the confidence, 8-0, yes, it's a friendly game. It's a trial game against a Mino like soccer intellectuals. It's not anything to go by in terms of the results, but to score 8 going into a game like Zimbabwe is for me a very, very good boost for the Black Stars.
It's a good boost, but there's been a bit of a dilemma concerning the selections. We didn't see Captain Andre Ayew involved in the game. We're hearing contrasting reports. There's been some that he's injured. Some are saying that he might not get a lot of minutes under Coach Milovan. Where do you sit on the Ayew brothers situation? Do you think that they should still get some game time, or maybe it's time to phase them out slowly?
Andre Ayew got his debut for the Black Stars on a Glory Roy. But I think, for me, he cemented his place in the Black Stars during Milovan Radovac's time when he had to promote a lot of the under-20s from the 2009 winning team in Egypt. So he's someone who Milo knows very, very well. If you look at the highlight that you showed in our game against Germany, in a game against USA, you could see Andre Ayew was an integral part of Milo's plan then. Now, we are talking about 13, 12 years down the lane. If a coach comes back and finds the same player playing for the Black Stars, he will ask himself if he has lived his moment with the Black Stars and he's still active, he's still efficient in the team after 12, 13 years. So I think Milo will be the best judge of the situation with Andre Ayew. He has been part of his team before, and he will assess him 12 years on to find out if he can still give him what he was giving him in the past. I'm not so bothered about who starts the game. What I'm bothered is Milovan having a clear view of the strength of his players, how efficient he wants to play, and those who can get the job done, and not names and individuals who are supposed to be captains, big names, pedigree, and all that. Milo is someone we are depending on to get the best out of our players. And if it has to take our captain sitting on the bench to get the results, Ghanaians are for it to go.
Thank you very much. But let me get back to Lawrence. And Lawrence, Norman Muppet, he comes as the coach on a 3-month caretaker deal. That's short term. And when a coach comes in as a caretaker at this point, what do you think would be going through his mind heading into this game? Because he has a very short period, about 2, 3, 4 matches to be able to try and impress and secure a deal. So do you think perhaps that might push him to try and be more expansive rather than being pragmatic and negative?
Well, he is someone who is a legend in Zimbabwean football. He's always there when he's needed. Even if he was going to be asked to be in charge for just one game, he was just going to give out his very best, because that's just who he is. He loves the national team. He knows what football means to the football-loving nation. So I don't think there's any kind of pressure on his part to actually try to prove. He was actually just going to do his best regardless of the time frame given on his job. So I expect him to do well, as always the case. And the fact that he's in charge for just 3 games is neither here nor there. He's a good coach. He's someone who understands and knows Zimbabwean football and what it means to the people. So yeah, I expect him to do well, regardless of him being on an interim basis. He would actually want the job on a permanent basis too, as a matter of fact. So it's something that is going to work in both his favor and the nation's favor as well.
Well, you said that he would want the job, but to get that, he would have to meet the targets. Do you have an idea of what he's expected to do in this short period? Are there a certain number of games that he's supposed to win, or he's outrightly supposed to win everything and come out top in the group to be able to keep his job?
No, not really. He was simply told that he has to impress, during the World Cup qualifiers. He simply has to revive the team's World Cup qualifying campaign. Not necessarily he is mandated to take the team to the World Cup for him to keep his job. No, he simply just has to restore some respectability to the team. Win a couple of games or something. Not necessarily have to top the group or go to the World Cup for him to have his job. The team just has to do well under his guidance. He has to revive the World Cup qualifying campaign. And if he does that, then he has got a very good chance of taking the team to AFCON.
Well, on the screen currently is the highlights of the match between Zimbabwe and Ethiopia, a game that you painfully lost 1-0. On paper, it was one of the games that if you were to stand a chance of qualifying, it was one that you should have won. Is this something that you look back and say that it might be a defining moment, or you look forward and think that there's still a chance?
Yeah, those were 3 huge points lost. It's a game which we feel as a nation we ought to have done better. With all due respect to Ethiopia as an opponent, it was a winnable game, despite the fact that we're not playing at home. So we take that. We actually took that as 3 lost points. It's a game we ought to have won and we ought to have done better. But things were not well under the former coach's guidance, and there were a lot of issues. The team was not doing well. Actually, the team hasn't scored in the past 3 games. So that is something that we're also expecting to change as a nation.
And Bismarck, Lawrence ended on the note that Zimbabwe has struggled for goals. And that has also been the situation for Ghana under CK Akono. In the qualifiers, it's just been 1 goal so far. And in South Africa, the team barely created anything. What do you think Milo can immediately do to fix short-term the goal-scoring issue that the Black Stars are experiencing?
I think first of all, it must be a shared responsibility, because we clearly see that where we lack in the Black Stars today is a typical goal poacher who has a track record to find goals at the level that we need to have in our team. And if that is the situation, that will mean everyone around the penalty box, everyone who gets at the end of any offensive play must have the responsibility and the instincts to find out the goals. And so you watch players like Kamara Dean, you watch players like Kudus Mohammed, even at a point in time, Thomas Tepati scored in subsequent games for the Black Stars. So we must not put our eggs in one basket and say, look, if you are deployed as a center forward for the team, whether it's Joe Family or Benjamin Tete or Caleb Kuban, any of the strikers, you are supposed to have the core responsibility in finding out the goals. If a team goes within such a situation, what is being done in most cases is to share the responsibility of scoring the goals in the team. And that must come from the wingers, must come from the midfielders, must even come from the defenders in set pieces situations and all that. So I'm looking at a team that is well built. If you look at Milovan Rajavat's first stint with the Black Stars, there were a lot of times we saw Kevin Prince Boateng coming in to score goals. And then Ayew then as a winger coming in to score goals. There were opportunities being created for Kojo Asamoah to shoot at goals. So I'm looking at a team where it becomes all round in terms of the responsibilities to score goals. And it's quite refreshing that we are talking about this issue bouncing out from an 8-0 win where the goals were quite secular. Everyone was involved one way or the other in finding the goal. So it's quite positive the way we've started. And I think it's the core responsibility of Milo, Otuado, Maswa Kunedu to get the team all getting the responsibility and the desire to find goals when they get to the end of offensive plays.
And Bismarck, the game against Zimbabwe, what do you think would be a perfect, afternoon for the Black Stars in terms of results?
think a perfect one will be a dominant performance. A Ghana team that really enjoyed a chunk of possession, and not a possession in our area, a possession in the opponent's box, not the possession where you be passing the ball with your back line and all that. We need to take the possession into our opponent's box where we dominate there, we string the passes together, we are quite exciting in lateral areas, we play the expansive football, get the crosses into the box, create a lot of chances, give hope that we are developing our pattern of play, we are developing the structure, be very, very compact defensively as we've known Coach Milovan Rajavac's teams in the past, be without the ball, very, very disciplined as a team. Let us see a commitment from the Blasters. That is one thing the citizens will want to see, the commitment level of the Blasters. Let us see a Blasters that everyone gets on and feels part of the team, feels he has equal responsibility to get us to the target of winning games like against Zimbabwe and getting back. So we want to see a free-spirited team, a team that dominates play, a team that has commitment to right in the faces of everyone who is on the pitch, and a team that wins and wins comfortably, and a team that clearly, even sitting from outside, you could see the structure of the team, the transition of the team, the cohesion, the pattern of play, and how we clearly have our ideas cut out in terms of the way we want to go the journey with Milovan Rajava. So I'm expecting that kind of feeling from the Blasters, and that will resonate a lot of hope in the football fraternity in Ghana.
All right, thank you, Bismarck. Let me wrap up with you, Lawrence. We saw quite a number of upsets yesterday in the World Cup qualifiers, probably the pinnacle of it being Nigeria losing at home against Central African Republic. Is one that a lot of people didn't envisage. Do you think such a result or such a trend of results yesterday gives the Zimbabwe team hope, especially because your key man Kama Billiards would not be playing in this game?
Well, of course, like you rightly said, Kama is suspended for the game, but the Nigeria result itself is a clear testimony that there's no small team in football nowadays. Football is evolved, football is dynamic now. With or without yesterday's result, we were just having the same belief that it's very possible to get a result in Ghana. We respect Ghana as a football institution. We respect Ghana as an African powerhouse. We respect Milo as a tactician in what he has done for Ghanaian football. But that doesn't change the fact that we equally believe in our team, and we equally believe in its capabilities. We equally believe in the coach who's in charge of the team. So yeah, we do expect to get a result. We do expect the team to impose itself and have that fighting spirit and the same belief that we can actually get a result despite being in a very, very difficult territory.
Thank you very much, Lawrence. Let me just try your name one more time. It's Mangenge, right?
Correct.
Way better than the first one. All right, thank you very much for joining us from Zimbabwe. And Bismarck Owusu-Bempah, thank you also for joining us from Ghana. And what we did was just look at the big one tomorrow between the Black Stars and Zimbabwe. Both teams are heading into this one trying to right a wrong previously. Ghana lost 1-0 against South Africa, as Zimbabwe also lost 1-0 against Ethiopia. So the margin of error has been used by these two teams, and they would love a result tomorrow, setting up for a blockbuster. Wow. I hope I didn't ruin your Friday morning, but it's a good time to remember some of the good times with Milovan Rajavac. Reaching the quarterfinal was a massive feat for the Black Stars, and the phone lines are officially open. Let's get a couple of phone calls and give you the chance to also share your views on your thoughts ahead of the Black Stars game against Zimbabwe. Remember, it's Milovan Rajavac's first official game, coming back as Black Stars coach. And interestingly, Samuel Nkum was speaking to Joy Sports concerning the aftermath of that Uruguay game. And he says in the dressing room, Milovan Rajavac told them that, there's no one to blame, and life happens. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. And so they should hold on to each other and still believe that they are one family. And Milovan Rajavac gets the chance again to take the dugout. And we do have our first caller, though, Ronaldo Jr. from WA, if I'm right. How are you doing, Ronaldo?
Yeah, I'm doing well.
Wait, is your real name Ronaldo?
Yeah, I'm Mohammed, but everybody knows me as Ronaldo Junior. Wow.
Do you play football yourself?
Yeah, I'm a footballer.
That's good. That's good. Milovan Rajevac comes back, second stint. First of all, what do you think of his appointment?
Yeah, I think it's all been excited. If we look at his appointment, I was one of the people that was campaigning for somebody that has been in the Black Stars before and somebody that has known the Black Stars from inside out. And I think Milo coming back was something that was an excitement to me. And I think I want to use this opportunity to call on all football lovers to try and then rally behind Milo. I think when you look at some of the highlights, some of the things he has done before with the Black Stars, I think you can only be excited about the things that will come from Milo.
And Saturday's game against Zimbabwe, what's your confidence level like? Do you have a prediction in mind?
Yeah, you see, earlier on, the journalist from Kumasi made mention of something which I think is very important, that we saw from the friendly match that the goals were coming from all angles. And I think looking at what is going to happen, I think the boys are ready to all take it by themselves and not to just allow somebody to be in charge of the goals. Everybody seems to be active. When you look at what happened earlier with Thomas Partey and this other defender in a boxing ring, you could see the kind of joy that was coming from the camp. And I think we've got everything points to the fact that we are having our Black Stars back. And I want to assure all Ghanaians that what I'm seeing tomorrow is nothing but a victory, a comprehensive victory of at least 2 goals margin. I'm looking at a 3-0 victory for Ghana.
All right, thank you very much, Mohammed, a.k.a. Ronaldo Jr. He called from WA. We had Ronaldo calling in on the AM show. That's big news. But let's move on to our next caller, and that's Yakubu from Wale Wale. Yakubu, good morning, and what's your mood like ahead of the Black Stars match tomorrow? Yakubu, can you hear me? Hello, Yakubu.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, I was asking, what's your mood like ahead of the big game against Zimbabwe tomorrow?
Yeah, good morning, sir. The tactics as you display on the post this morning, you can see that the match they played against the other team and they had 8-0. I can see that the other people who scored the goals were from the midfield, and then it's a good move. It's a good move. I'm expecting a good result out of that.
All right, thank you very much, Yakubu from Wale Wale. Let's move on to our next caller. That's George from Ho. Hi, George. How are you feeling ahead of the game against Zimbabwe? George, can you hear me? I think we're struggling to get...
Yeah, can you?
Okay, George, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I was asking, how are you feeling ahead of the big game tomorrow?
Yes, I'm feeling very, very optimistic because I've been watching them for the past 3 days on news. I live in Cape Coast anyway, but I work in Ho, so I'm following up, and I think that the enthusiasm camp is very, very high. But the reason why I called is that, please, in any institution, they do archiving and they do record. But this record of Ghana-Uruguay match, I beg you, take it from your record. I beg you, in the name of God. It's not good. It's not good at all. I mean, it's not good at all. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
All right, thank you very much. Let's move on to our next caller. That's Frimpong from the Ashanti region. Frimpong, big day tomorrow for Milovan Rajevac. What's your expectation?
Oh, okay, thank you. I'm calling from Yankumasi, not in the central region, not the Ashanti.
Ah, okay, sorry, my bad.
It's good you're giving the job back to Coach Milo. And then I want Ghanaians to stop saying that our previous trophies were won by a local coach, so it's better we give the job to a local coach. No, I don't think a local coach can handle the job because we've tried them several times and then they've failed us. So I'm happy that they've given it back to Coach Milo. Now football has developed and every nation is a football country. Gone are the days where football were played by only Ghana and then Nigeria and maybe Egypt. That was then. But now things are changed, so it's better we give it to a foreign coach. I wish the Black Stars all the best. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Our last caller for today will be Idrisu from Boku. Idrisu, you have the privilege of being our final caller. What are your expectations for the game tomorrow?
Good morning and good morning for our dear listeners. See Milo turning back to Ghana here is not surprise to me. Hello. Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you, Drisu.
Yeah, I said Milo turning back to Black Stars is not surprise. It's not a big deal to me. Because Milo, he came and bring some tactics very, very, very accurate. But Connor was not having that experience. We didn't say he's not a coach of that, but he has not reached up to that level. But Milo has the experience how to handle it and how to do the tactics. So the tactics is the experience. But Connor was not having that tactics. So look at it, he just came just from he managed to produce some tactics which is going to be very, very accurate for the Black Stars. I wish them all the best.
All right, thank you very much, Idrisu from Boku, and that will be our final call for today. Monday, we'll try again and get your thoughts after Milovan Rajevac's first game on his second return as coach of the Black Stars. But it's going to be a weekend of not just Ghana playing Zimbabwe here in Cape Coast. There will be World Cup qualifiers also on the African continent. Let's now take a look at the other games to be played. So as you can see on your screen, Cote d'Ivoire would travel to face Malawi. Angola would be at home against Gabon. Cameroon, who would host next year's Africa Cup of Nations, would be hosting Mozambique. Algeria, who's been in super form, host Niger. Djibouti face Burkina Faso, as Egypt, who have a new coach, would be playing against Libya. Ethiopia face South Africa in the other Group G game in Ghana, in the Ghana group. And then we have Guinea versus Sudan. Ghana face Zimbabwe. We've previewed that today throughout the AM show. Togo play against Congo. Sadio Mane's Senegal would be at home against Namibia. And then Guinea-Bissau play Morocco. Before we go, do make a date with us this Saturday on the Joy Prime channel at 8 p.m. for another fun-packed episode of the Boss Game Show, the soccer edition. You can also participate by dialing *718 *882# on MTN, Vodafone or Airtel Tigo. Or on GMoney, you can just dial *422# and select 4 and then 6, and all you have to do is follow the prompt. Buy entries are just 2 Ghana cedis to qualify to participate. The higher your entries, the better your chances. You can also win electronic goods such as TV sets, home theaters, etc. when you buy these entries, as well as come to the show to contest the boss for a part of 250,000 Ghana cedis. You can follow us on social media at JoySportsGH and check myjoyonline.com/sports for the latest news in the world of sports as they keep coming in during the day. My name is Oreko Ampofo and the AM show continues right after this.